Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 25 things that I no longer buy and how it saves me money. If you want to see more of these videos, make sure you give this one a thumbs up and don't forget to hit subscribe. The first item that I stopped buying is brand new cars and instead buying a certified pre-owned car. When I bought the certified pre-owned car, no one could tell that it was already used. The car was safe, I bought it from a trusted owner, everything worked out smoothly, and I didn't have to take out debt in order to buy the car. The second item that I no longer buy is the latest tech gadget, and instead I keep the same model and find that it's okay to have older models. There are always so many products that come out that are new. I decided to keep my older models as long as they're still functional. I don't mind having an older phone. The third item is brand names and instead buy generic brands that are high in functionality and quality. A lot of the products that are marketed towards us are marked up because of the brand. So I decided to buy products that are solely on its quality rather than the logo that's printed on the item. I no longer buy makeup wipes and instead use reusable cotton rounds. So I put the cotton rounds in a jar like this. They come in different colors. It comes in white, yellow, pink, and blue. I use jojoba oil and it's from Teak Naturals. It's 100% organic and I put 2 or 3 drops of this oil onto the makeup rounds. Once I do that, I use it to remove all of my makeup and I wash it with soap and water and leave to dry. I find this to be a more sustainable way of removing my makeup. The next thing is nail polish, and I only have these 3 nail polishes. I find that instead of buying 50 to 60 nail polishes, I'd rather just go to a salon and treat myself and get my nails done rather than do it myself. I only get my nails done about 2 or 3 times a year. It's disposable travel size bottles and replacing it with refillable bottles. I bought these a year ago and I absolutely love these, and the reason why is because you can fill whatever liquid you want into these bottles. They are below the limit for TSA. I find that it's super helpful to use these bottles. Highly recommend these. Number 7 is instead of buying new clothing, I thrift, buy secondhand, and borrow clothing. I go thrifting once a season and I purchase clothing that I typically want, and usually they have the styles that I like. And lastly, borrowing clothing, especially for special occasions that probably will require you to wear something once and never again. I like to borrow those clothing as well. Number 8 is instead of buying cheap jewelry, I invest in quality pieces. Instead of going and buying these really cheap jewelry that are considered also to be part of fast fashion, I decided to invest in quality pieces. Another thing that I stopped buying is wallets, and instead I pay electronically or use my phone case. You have a lot of options to pay electronically, and also I just use my phone case, and that way I don't need to carry around a wallet, and I do not think I will buy a wallet in the future. Number 10 is instead of buying unlimited pairs of shoes, to just be able to keep the ones that you have. So the shoes that I have, 1 pair of Toms, 2 sneakers, 1 pair of heels, and slip-ons. So I don't go out of my way to buy new shoes. Another item that I no longer buy is ZIPLOC bags and plastic wrap. Instead, I use reusable bags and wraps. So I just want to show you what I've been using. And these are the reusable bags. They're biodegradable and they have a lot of room to put sandwiches or snacks in here. You can also put some supplies in here, whichever one, and you can zip that up. So the one I bought, there are 10 in the pack, so 5 of the larger ones and 5 of the smaller ones. I find this to be a more sustainable option than buying ZIPLOC bags. Number 12 is instead of buying disposable cups and bottles, I buy reusable water bottles. This one, for instance, is made out of stainless steel. I remember when I was in college, I used to buy a bunch of plastic water bottles and they would just be lying everywhere and you would never know when you opened it and you'll just open another one. But I just now really love things that you could just wash and reuse countless amount of times, especially when you're on the go-to. You can put on a lid and then you can go out the door. Number 13 is instead of buying plastic bags, I started to buy tote bags. So in some jurisdictions, they charge you for plastic bags. This is the one that I love. It has the same functionality as most other bags, and it's super durable and you can use it multiple times. I bring this around me everywhere. To be honest, I would rather use a tote bag than a Gucci bag.
I said it.
Number 14 is instead of buying plastic straws, I buy stainless steel straws. The different types of straws that I have, these straws are way better for the environment than those disposable ones that can go into oceans and landfills. Number 15 is I no longer order lunch during work days, but instead I pack my lunch. It adds up when you go out to eat for lunch every single day. So in order to save money, I decided to just pack my lunch, and I've been doing that for 4 to 5 years. Number 16 is instead of buying room-specific household cleaners, I use my own DIY cleaner. I've showed this in previous videos, but what you can do is you can fill a bottle with water, essential oil, lemon, baking soda, and you can make your own DIY cleaner. It's super easy and it allows you to clean different surfaces instead of buying multiple ones for each room. Instead of using candles, I started using diffusers. I have different essential oils that I use, so instead of using the candle, I decided to use these. I'm using lavender. You can just put 2 or 3 drops in there, put it back into the small container, and then close the top. That for me is a better alternative way than using different types of candles. Number 18 is instead of buying seasonal decor, I like to keep it limited and simple. I wouldn't go too crazy into buying gigantic decorations that later will have no purpose throughout the whole year. I like to enjoy decorations outside of my home. Instead of buying physical copies of books, I decided to buy ebooks. That way the books don't pile up and collect dust. If you still do have physical copies of the books, if you finish reading it and taking a few notes, you can then give it to another friend for them to enjoy. Number 28 is instead of buying journals, notebooks, and magazines, I find all of this stuff online. My journal, for instance, is online and I find it easier to type out, and I can insert photos throughout the day, make my notes electronically. And lastly, magazines, I just find my inspiration online. Number 21 is instead of buying printed photos, I store all my photos online in case they get lost. If I do receive a photo, I take a picture of the photo and discard the photo and just keep the picture of the photo as a memory. Number 22 is souvenirs. Instead, I limit it to taking photos and food. So instead of buying magnets and other trinkets that collect dust, keep the memories through photos and videos instead of a physical item. If I do need to bring back a souvenir for someone else, it will typically be something that you can eat. So last year, for instance, I came back from Thailand and I brought back dried mangoes that a lot of people really enjoyed. Number 23 is I no longer buy impulse items and instead I stick to the list. Impulse items, what they are is when you're at the checkout, you'll see a bunch of, for instance, candies and these $1, $2 items that you wouldn't really consider buying beforehand. I just make sure that I stick to the list because I know that these items are marketed towards you, especially when you're right about to pay. They just constantly want you to spend and spend. Number 24 is subscriptions. Instead, what I do is I share accounts, deactivate subscriptions that I don't use. Lastly, to negotiate prices. So there are multiple subscriptions where you can now share accounts with other people, which will make the costs go down. If you also don't use the account frequently, you can also choose to deactivate it. You can negotiate pricing. So for instance, if you have cable, you can negotiate with other providers to see what gives you the best price. Personally, I just don't use cable at all. Lastly, number 25 is duplicates and just in case items. Instead, I just avoid them at all costs. And the reason why I say that is because I don't know if I'll ever use a duplicate. I typically just buy items as I need them rather than storing a bunch of products that I don't know I'll ever get to. So that concludes this video. That's 25 things that I no longer buy. If you want to see more of these videos, make sure you give it a thumbs up and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!